It's October 1983. In downtown Frederick, the first In the Street begins, launching an annual tradition that has gotten bigger and better with each passing year. 20 years ago, no one could have predicted that a little celebration to mark the end of block streets and downtown renovation would have become the annual blockbuster event that it is today. But a lot can happen in 20 years. 2 decades ago, who would have guessed that cell phones and CD players would be so commonplace today? Or that Frederick would have its own minor league baseball team? Or that the city would now have in office its first woman mayor?
In the Streets is our city celebration of what makes us special. Honoring the downtown, bringing folks down to celebrate kids' events, music, drinking and eating. It's wonderful to celebrate what Market Street is all about, the vibrant center of our downtown. We're so excited that the downtown is alive with banners. We'll be alive with people. The day starts with races, both running and walking. We'll have a parade of politicians and local dignitaries walking up and down, wishing well for all the neighbors that come down to see it. Plus, you'll get to see clowns, great musical acts, and just a lot of good fun down on Market Street. Certainly, In the Street celebration has evolved over the last 20 years. It started out as a big beer fest and has moved into more of a family-oriented event where you get to have a nice refreshment and some good food, but the families come down and see it. And I think that's what makes it so special. The way the In the Street celebration has grown up is the same way the city has grown up. We're a destination. We're a destination for family and for fun.
From humble, low-budget beginnings, In the Street began. Today, it's a recurring event that has spanned 20 years, growing and evolving with the city and the times. In the Street started out as a way to reopen downtown Frederick to the community after months of grueling construction. During most of 1983, major renovations to Market Street closed the street to traffic, a tremendous hardship to downtown businesses and to patrons alike. When the work was completed, Mayor Ron Young, working with a small group of volunteers and Market Street business owners, decided to put on a show to celebrate the reopening, and In the Street was born.
We had buried the wires and rebuilt all of Market Street and decided to have a festival to celebrate the reopening of Market Street. So I put a committee together, Carolyn Griner on my staff, who pushed very hard to begin this, along with Ann Snyder and Donna Smythe, who used to come in here for happy hour. So they really began planning it here, and the two of them were good at throwing parties, so I asked them if they could throw a party for 25,000 people, and they said they could throw a party for anybody. So they agreed to co-chair the first In the Street. We put a large committee together, basically told them that it had to be a no-cost, low-cost event. In other words, raise the money to put it on, and that we would supply the cleanup, the setup, and whatever. And they just did a fantastic job of putting together the very first In the Street, which I think probably drew about 40,000 people. But it was the first of our many festivals that we started, and it's been the biggest and most successful over the years. But it was just a group of volunteers that started in here, and there's a plaque on the wall around the corner noting that we started it here. But it was a celebration to attract people back downtown and to help the businesses out after the street was closed for quite a while.
Over the years, In the Street has managed to stay true to its enterprising roots while evolving into the biggest downtown fun fest in Frederick. 15 volunteers scraped up $11,000 in just 8 weeks to pull together the first In the Street event. It began just like today, with a mile-long run and a parade, and many of the performers who filled the stages along Market Street, offered their talents for free.
I'm Nancy Floria, and former owner of the Province Restaurant from 1978 to the year 2001. And In the Street started basically at the bar of the Province Restaurant in 1983, in the spring of 1983. It actually began as a conversation between Ron Young, Donna Smythe, and Ann Snyder, and there may have been a few other people at the bar, but it was while the streets were being repaired for the underground wiring, and people were walking around in the street, and we thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if this could happen all the time? But obviously that couldn't, so we decided that it would be nice to have a party to celebrate the opening of the streets once all the underground wiring was completed. Now, my function was to try to get the food vendors, which were the restaurants, to cooperate. And we just started going restaurant to restaurant to ask if the people would like to participate at the In the Street Festival. And I think everybody was sort of leery about it since it had never occurred before. In the beginning, we had no clue as to what was going to happen. It was going to be a good success for most of the participants, or it was going to be a nightmare. But fortunately, it turned out to be a wonderful success that has just grown over the years and has introduced a lot of people to the downtown Frederick and what downtown Frederick has to offer.
As the revitalized downtown area of Frederick grew, so did In the Street. Now, the Events Committee has over 25 hard-working members who begin working 10 months before, organizing and managing hundreds of dedicated volunteers, sponsors, and participants, collectively logging thousands of hours of their time to put together this celebration of Frederick.
In the Street really is a special event for me. I grew up with it. I came here when I was a young child. I participated with the TJ Marching Band and used to come in afterwards. And then shortly after college, I came back and started volunteering for In the Street as well as other events for the city of Frederick. Quickly, I got roped into being chairman of it. It's really been an honor since then. In the Street represents a few things to me. It really represents the community which I love living in. It represents all the people that help me, all the volunteers that really make this happen. I represent one of many committee members, though. There were so many volunteers that make this event possible, and without them, I couldn't do it myself. Really an honor to be chairman of the 20th anniversary. I hope this year is a spectacular year and will set a precedent for the years to come.
2002 marks the 20th year of In the Street, and this year it's time to celebrate 20 years of growth, fun, and development along Market Street and throughout downtown. Today, as an homage to our first year of In the Street, we're turning back the clock to 1983 with some great 80s tribute music. With 5 stages of entertainment, you're sure to find your favorite tunes at In the Street. And with food, drinks, activities, vendors, and even stuff for the kids, there really is something for everyone at Frederick's favorite fun fest, In the Street. Much may have changed over the last 20 years, but a great deal of the spirit of that first event, a feeling of excitement about how far Frederick has come and how far it can go, is still with us In the Street today. The next 20 years of In the Street begins today, and who knows what changes that the city and the event might witness by 2023. One thing remains a certainty, though. We might be looking back at you, but we'll always look forward to In the Street.